allies, heroes, enemies. How can I be purified and healed? What should my relationship to animals be, and with the earth? I realized that when I asked these questions of myself, I also had a repertoire of stories within my autobiography that gave me satisfying personal answers. I also made the discovery of the myth that's central to my life. Let me tell you that story. Once upon a time, when there were still Indians and gypsies and bears and bad men in the woods of Tennessee where I played, and more important, there was no death, a promise was made to me. One endless summer afternoon, my father sat in the eternal shade of a peach tree, carving on a seed he'd picked up. Using the skill common to all omnipotent creators, he made a small monkey out of the seed. I coveted that peach seed monkey. If only I could have it, I'd possess a treasure that couldn't be matched in the whole town of Maryville, Tennessee. What status, what identity I would achieve by owning such a curio. Finally, I marshaled my nerve and asked my dad if I might have the monkey when it was finished. That would be on the 6th day of creation. My father said, "This one's for your mother, but I'll carve you one someday." Days passed, and then weeks, and finally years, and the someday didn't arrive. I forgot about the peach seed monkey. Life with my father was exciting, secure, and colorful. He did all those things for his children a father can do, not the least of which was merely delighting in their existence. One of the lasting tokens I retain of his measure of dignity and courage was how, with emphysema sapping his energy, he continued to wonder, to struggle, and to grow. Then one day, in the pure air and dry heat of an Arizona afternoon in the summer before the death of God, my father and I sat under a juniper tree. I listened as he wrestled with the task of taking the measure of his success and failure in life. There came a moment of silence that cried out for testimony. Suddenly I remembered the peach seed monkey, and I heard the right words coming from myself to fill the silence. "Dad, you've never failed me in anything that was important. With one exception, you kept the promises you made to me, but you never did carve me that peach seed monkey." Not long after this conversation, I received a small package in the mail. In it was a peach seed monkey, and a note that said, "Here's the monkey I promised you. You'll notice that I broke one leg and had to repair it with glue. I'm sorry I didn't have time to carve a perfect one." 2 weeks later, my father died. He died only at the end of his life. For me, a peach seed monkey has become the symbol of all the promises that were made to me and the energy and care that nourished and created me as a human being. Even more fundamentally, it's a symbol of that which is the foundation of all personality and dignity. Each of us is redeemed from shallow and hostile life only by the sacrificial love and civility that's been freely given us. When I discover the promises made and kept that are the hidden root of my sense of the basic trustworthiness of the world, and my consequent freedom to commit myself to action, I discover my links with the past. I find the once upon a time that's the beginning of the story I must tell to be myself.
Once upon a time, in 1972, Sam took me to meet Joseph Campbell. We sat in his study, a room made of books, not walls, and he spoke to us of the danger and bliss of the hero's journey. I was 25 years old at the time and still reveling in the aftershocks of the 1960s in America. I asked Campbell how it was that the hero was so often cast in masculine form. Surely women are heroic too. I hoped he would narrate one of the hundreds of myths at his fingertips that featured intrepid females. What he did say caused everything else he said that day to fall out of my memory. He said that he and his wife, Jean, had chosen not to have children because their life's work was already cut out for them, but that most women are set inexorably on the heroic